Alright, what's up you guys? This is Devin from Project Sax and we're back with something new. Now this is going to be hot. Not as in hot as outside, but as in something fresh and new and never been done before on this channel. Now, a lot of people in the comment boxes and my inbox, they've been saying, oh, Devin, why haven't you started your Altissimo series? You need to put that up. Well, actually, they hadn't said that. They've been asking me just, you know, how do you do Altissimo and what are the steps to do it? Because it's really not easy. And that's what this series is for. This series is called Altissimo Warz. Now, Altissimo Warz is going to be here from Project Sax for quite a while, because it's not just going to be one episode where it's hit and miss and then, oh, I don't know really, you know, how to do it. I need more reinforcement. Yeah, I'm here to reinforce that, because Altissimo is a totally different extension of the horn, you know. So for those of you who don't know, Altissimo is just essentially a register of notes that are above what is designated usually for the horn. Now, newer saxophones have been designed to, you know, cater for this. You know, hey, we're going to be nurturing to the Altissimo register. We're going to make a saxophone that plays well in the Altissimo register, i.e. Cannonball, i.e. you know, Jupiter or Keelworth or Yamaha or all those big Selmer, you know, all those big saxophone brands. But needless to say, it is not just easy as buying a saxophone and actually being able to play in the Altissimo register. And I'm pretty sure all of you guys know that by the comments below. Because a lot of people don't know really how to hit the Altissimo register. But moving on. Now, this episode is the first episode. So since this is the first episode of Altissimo Warz, we're going to start off with just telling you guys how to achieve it before actually playing or blowing a note on your horn. Why is this important? Because Altissimo register is a little bit different from the regular notes on the horn, obviously, but it really does have a lot to do with your mouthpiece to reed combination and also the actual pressure you allow your horn. So usually in the Altissimo register you hear these high pitchy notes that are played, but usually they're in fast-paced music, popular music, rock music, and anything that needs the saxophonist to cut through. So anything with a solo, jazz music, anything with a solo where the saxophone needs to really make a name for itself, where the saxophone player needs to make a name for itself, he uses Altissimo as a good tool to, you know, show the actual tonality versus, you know, the actual strength of its, you know, higher register. So when you're number one, looking for a reed or mouthpiece that will perform efficiently in the Altissimo register, first thing you need to do is figure out how wide that opening from your reed to mouthpiece is. So say for instance you have a mouthpiece. Well, on that mouthpiece, usually the higher end mouthpieces, or the ones that have a little bit of, you know, money on them, or they tend to have like a model or a number beside it. That number designates the opening. Usually that model number usually designates the opening, how open your mouthpiece is. If you ever look into your reed boxes or your mouthpiece cases, or not cases, but the actual boxes themselves, when you open up your mouthpiece case, or you look on the Van Doren website, or wherever you get your mouthpiece from, you'll see a comparison chart, and it says, okay, this is maybe good for beginners, this is good for intermediates, this is good for advanced players. Well, they have like a whole bunch of A6, T8, you know, M9, M11, you know, these terms that you're like, what is this? Is this Japanese? I'm trying to play the saxophone. Well, no, those are very important. Why? Because these designate the opening, the chamber, the baffle, the cut, of everything about the mouthpiece that you really need to know. But essentially for the Altissimo, what you need to know is how open, how far is your reed away from your mouthpiece when it comes to the tip opening. how far away is that reed from that mouthpiece, and how much room does that reed have to vibrate. That is essentially what you need to know. So usually the higher the number of the reed, pretty much all the time, the higher the number of the reed, it increases the distance. That's the resistance of the reed, or the hardness of the reed. When you increase the distance of the reed from the mouthpiece, this is essentially giving you a bigger tone, more sound. Say for instance you are playing in a pit orchestra. This is why you need a reed of a 4 or a 5 maybe, depending on your mouthpiece or your comfortability playing. So these essentially when you have a reed that is a 4 or a 5, it really helps you. Now when you have a 1 or a 2, it is not going to give you a lot of sound, but it's really comfortable for those who are just starting out on the saxophone, and it's also good for those who have open mouthpieces who want to close them a little bit. Now the opposite goes for the 4, 5, and 3 reeds. When you have a really closed mouthpiece and you want to open the distance between the reed and mouthpiece, you get a harder reed with more resistance when it comes to putting air into the horn. Now the actual makeup of the reed is not, okay, the reed is thicker. No, the reed is not thicker per se. It's the actual distance between the reed and the mouthpiece. Now they might make them, cut them a little thicker, you know, maybe a fraction of an inch, but it's not necessary. That's not necessarily the actual terminology why they use it. Why they use medium hard or hard reed terminology. It's because of the distance between the reed, and it's actually harder to play. You know, it provides for a softer embouchure per se, or a softer amount of pressure that you have to push through the reed. But it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not making. You know, it's not because the reed is thicker or anything like that. Now, the distance between the reed and the mouthpiece is important, because if you have a really closed mouthpiece, say for instance an M4 or an M5. You know, or an A6 or an A5 or an A4. 6 is kind of in the middle, but 4 or 5 or even 3, you know, or 1 star or 2 star. You know, those are really closed mouthpieces, and they generally tend to need a reed of a 3, 4, or a 5 even to get a big sound. And Altissimo really needs a big sound to be, you know, comfortable. So it's either you need to get a mouthpiece with an open cut and a soft reed, or you really need to get a closed mouthpiece with a more resistive reed like a 4 or a 5. That's really the concept. What you want to do is provide for an open embouchure, so you can allow as much air pressure to get through to the horn as possible. So when you're playing, not only are you going to be able to go, well, you should be able to go from the bottom to the top of the horn, but when you're going even further in the Altissimo register, you need to be able to manipulate the pressure as much as possible. So you need an open mouthpiece, or not necessarily an open mouthpiece, but an open mouthpiece to reed combination to be able to manipulate that air as much as possible. Alright guys, so yeah, generally that's the basic gist of the armature in reference to the Altissimo register. So comment in the boxes below if you have any troubles with it. The embouchure, the mouthpiece to reed combination, and the air pressure, they're all dictated by your mouthpiece and the model, make, mouthpiece, and the reed. So basically, you got an open mouthpiece, you want to get a closed reed, or a reed that is less resistive, maybe a 2 hard, maybe a 2 medium. And then you have a closed mouthpiece. If you have a closed mouthpiece, make sure you get a more open reed. So basically this is just to open the threshold of the amount of air that you allow to get to the horn, because a bigger threshold, the more pressure that you can control, and the more pressure you can control, the better your Altissimo will be. So I'm Devin with Project Sax, wishing you good sound, and stay tuned for the next episode of Altissimo Warz. Next episode we're going to be talking about the specific, actually the makeup of the instrument, and how you will actually play different fingerings to make different Altissimo notes work. I'm Devin from Project Sax, and again, I wish you guys good sound.